Welcome to our Light the Fire stage, Mr. Eric Rollins.
Hello and good morning. I'm so excited about this opportunity to share with all of you today. And I want to say thank you to the visionary, to our leader. Cannell has not only been a friend, but he's been a great brother. And, over these last, I would say like 8 months, I've definitely built a relationship with him that's been amazing. His wife and his daughter sometimes confuses he and I, when she's looking up quickly, but it's been a great experience. And I'm so excited to share with you today a little bit about Light the Fire. So pretty much about 4 years ago, I started my personal fitness journey, and I began to not want to necessarily be bulky or have a lot of muscle. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to begin to feel better about myself, about my image, about just life in general, having no idea the impact that was going to take, not only physically but also spiritually. So today, as we connect the spiritual aspect with the fitness aspect, I really believe that we can come to a place of greater understanding of not only who we are, but what we think. As we know, as a man thinks, so is he. So as I begin to think those positive thoughts, as I begin to think that I'm well, as I begin to think that I'm spiritually fit, I become well and I become spiritually fit. But on the other side to that is, if I don't feel well, if I don't think well, I don't become well. So spiritual fitness is a connection of the spiritual aspect, building yourself up in the most holy faith, building yourself up in prayer, building yourself up with the Word of God, and also in fellowship with working out. And working out, whatever that looks like to you. It may be lifting weights, it may be running, it may be walking, whatever you want to do, it comes down to what type of quality life you want to live. I want to live a quality life, and the only way that I can live a quality life is if I put my best foot forward and move in that direction. So as we come to this understanding, I want to share this plug that my new CEO just said about 3 weeks ago. He said to the patients, if you want to be in recovery, your recovery has to mean more to you than it means to me. And I have applied that spiritually, and also I've applied that to my fitness journey. If you want to live a spiritual life, or if you want to live a life of fitness, you have to want it more than the coach wants it. You have to want it more than your family wants it or your doctor wants it. You have to dig deeper. You have to go to the place that no one else wants to go to. You have to feel, within yourself that you want a better life, but you want a quality life with that. So I'm passionate because a lot of times we see individuals that are living and breathing and moving and having great success, but they're tired. They're fatigued. They have a lot of things going on. And I believe if we would begin to, have that fitness conversation with ourselves, that we can have a lot more energy, that we can be a lot more stronger. We can have a lot more, a stamina so we can move forward. Again, there was a song that came out a couple years ago that said, I'm living my best life. And they had cars and they had homes and they had the necklaces and they had all these great things. And while those materialistic things are important, those things do not mean much if your life is filled with not only chaos and confusion, but also if you're living a life that's not healthy. We have to become healthy both spiritually and physically, because as I'm healthy physically and spiritually, I begin to think better. I begin to behave better. I begin to move better because I want that best life. I want to live a life that's not only befitting for me, but also for my family and my future. Again, as a man thinks, so is he. And when you really begin to look at the Bible talks about how the body is a temple. And because the body is a temple, we damage our temple daily by the foods that we eat, by the things that we drink, by the activity that we do, not even realizing it. And then when I'm supposed to be at the height of my life, I become very sluggish because I'm not prepared. I think that they mentioned earlier, you have to plan. If you don't plan, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss those opportunities to move forward and to be the better you that you want to be. Again, it's about a quality of life. What type of quality do you want? Do you want just an okay life? Then do okay things. Do you want a great life? Then do great things. Spiritual fitness requires both discipline physically and spiritually. About 2 weeks ago, I have made up in my mind to start going back to the gym at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is very early, especially with me starting a new job, putting in about 14 hours a day some days, and doing the work of ministry, being a boyfriend, being a son, being an uncle, having so many things going on. But I have to learn how to discipline myself so I can be the best version of myself. So I get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, I do what I need to do, and I'm in that gym by 5:30. So between 5:30 and 6:30, I'm lifting weights, I'm running, I'm doing things that helps me build not only my day, but my future. I want to live a great life. And if I want to live a great life, I have to be a disciplined individual. So that's not only discipline with my physical fitness, but it's also discipline with my spiritual fitness. I have to spend time in prayer. I have to spend time, reading the Bible. This week, a few of the leaders of my church, we are on a time of prayer and a time of just, being together. And it's great because they're holding me accountable and I'm holding them accountable. Every day at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. we're praying. That brings us together spiritually. And so often, because we lack accountability, we don't have those people that can encourage us and help us move forward. And most times, whether this is a relationship, a personal relationship, a professional relationship, you have issues where there is no accountability and where there is no communication. For the last 2 years, I'm teaching, my staff, and I'm presenting, and I'm talking about both communication and accountability. Where there's one, there's another. Where you have communication, you have accountability, and where you have accountability, you also have communication. So we have to begin to dig deeper. We have to go to the place that is uncomfortable, because as we're uncomfortable, we really begin to get those results. I want results. I don't want to look, like the Hawk, or I don't want to look like, anyone that has all these bulging muscles, but I do want to begin to feel differently. I want to begin to think differently, so I do every day move forward. Kelsey, who's a great friend and a sister of mine, she has been disciplined for at least 1.5 years working out, and she's in the background going like this. She looks great, not because, she's working out every day, but her mindset is different. People that work out, more often than not, they do have an increased self-esteem and self-confidence. And that does not necessarily come from working out, but it does come from you putting in the discipline and with the expectation that you're going to move forward and you're going to reach your goal. Working out is not about losing weight to everyone. Working out can just be about feeling better. And I'm saying this repeatedly because I want us as a people to live better. I want us as a people to live differently. It doesn't matter what someone else says about you. It doesn't matter how someone else, saw you do something that was not great 5 or 10 years ago. But what does matter is what you say about yourself. What does matter is that you make the conscious decision to move forward, to live your best life, to live a quality life. Every day I wake up with the expectation that if I do one thing and one thing only, I'm going to give it 110%. If that's to only make up my bid for that day, guess what? I'm going to do a great job and make my bid for that day. I don't leave my house ever without making my bid up. That is very challenging to me. As a child, my mom would make my sister and I, before we went to the bus stop, make our bid and just be ready for the day. As I got older, I realized that was a discipline that she was teaching us, not only in responsibility, but also about, being successful. Because some people don't do that, and they start their day in chaos. They start their day, in a disarray. But for me, I've learned how to take the extra 5 minutes to make up my bid. We can do the same thing when we work out. Maybe you can't work out 60 minutes a day. Maybe you can't work out 30 minutes a day, but start somewhere. Maybe you can't pray for 10 minutes a day. Maybe you can't pray for 20 minutes a day, but start somewhere. Again, as a man thinks, so is he. So I have to begin to think the right things and begin to do the right things. So one of the things that I want to share, and I want to, pivot right here and say, is that you have what it takes. You have what it takes to be spiritually fit. You have what it takes to be the best version of you. You have what it takes to be successful. You have what it takes. And you cannot allow your insecurities or your deficiencies or even your failures of yesterday to dictate who you are today and what you want for tomorrow. Today's a new day. And because today's a new day, I'm going to give it 110%. When I woke up this morning and I went to the gym, I was excited. Even though I got there at 5:45 and not 5:30, I said, these next 45 minutes, I'm going to own this gym. These next 45 minutes, I'm going to give it whatever I need to so I can have that discipline in my day. And I'm saying that because if you put the work into it and the determination into it, it's not about the amount of time that you do something, it's the quality that you do something. I can spend 5 minutes doing something poorly, or I can spend 5 minutes doing something incredibly great, and the only thing that's consistent is my time. So what are you spending time doing? How are you spending your morning? How are you spending your afternoon? How are you spending your night? You are the one that sets the tone of your day. You're the one that sets the trajectory of your future. So spiritual fitness looks like this. All right, this is where I want to be, and this is what I have to do to get there. I have to start every day walking for 1 minute. I have to start every day just doing steps for whatever it is. You have to create that mindset and that expectation that you want. You have to set that expectation even in prayer or even, studying the Word of God. Now, about 2 years ago, I started using my timer, and I love a certain brand of technology, and I'm not going to put it out there because I'm not going to advertise for them, but I have my phone, I have, my laptop, I have everything is this certain brand. But the great thing here is that I have a timer, and I used to use my timer, and I would set it for 10 minutes each, 10 minutes in prayer, 10 minutes of reading the Bible, and 10 minutes of reading a book. And once my alarm went off, I went from one to the other to the other. And some people say, well, why are you doing that? What does that mean? I have carved out 30 minutes of every day to spend time doing those three things. Now, do those things advance? Absolutely. So now there's not just 10 minutes of me doing it. It turns into an hour of me doing each one of those every day. So instead of me scrolling on Facebook, instead of me looking on Instagram, instead of me trying to do some video on TikTok, I'm going to spend time being the best version of myself and studying others and studying different situations. Why do I do that? Because I come from the mindset, whatever it takes. Because I have goals, I have to do whatever it takes for me to reach my goal. I have to do whatever it takes for me to get to the place that I know I want to be. Now, there are some individuals that says, well, it doesn't take all that. And it may not take all that for you. And that's okay. But for others, it may take that and so much more. And we have to come to the place of not only accepting yourself, but accepting others and their journeys. So often we begin to judge individuals by the way we look, by the way we smell, by the way that, we perceive them. But the moment that we stop judging others is a moment that we look at our own selves. It's a moment that we say, you know what? I want to support you. And the best way that I can support you is by being the best version of myself. I don't begin to judge you. I don't begin to cast, any type of idea against you, but I'm going to come in. I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to engage you in conversation. I'm going to do whatever it takes. So you're a great person. And so I'm a great person in that moment. Now, someone may walk away and they may talk badly about you. They may call someone, they may speak badly about you as well. That's okay, because that moment was a great moment. And as you focus on the moment, we don't focus on everything else. I don't focus on the deficiency. I don't focus on what someone else is saying. I don't focus on what someone else is feeling. Why? Because I have my spiritual fitness or my spiritual IQ, my fitness IQ. As a man thinks, so is he. So I begin to walk differently. I begin to talk differently. I begin to act differently because I'm putting every foot in the right direction. Now, as they used to say years ago, don't get it twisted. I don't feel like I'm perfect whatsoever. I'm not. I make mistakes. I fall. I'm in error, and I'll be the first one that says that. I also realize that my mistake does not form my next moment. My mistake does not form my future. I learn from it. I'm accountable to it, and then I begin to say, like that little train, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And that begins to change to the place of, I know I can. I know I can. And because I know that I can, I do whatever it takes for me to get there. So spiritual fitness starts somewhere. Attend a church. Right now, churches all over the world, they're on every stream of social media that's out there. They're even on TikTok. They're on Twitter. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. And engage virtually if you don't want to go to a physical place for worship. You can get on a phone somewhere and you can call someone and they can pray with you. Prayer is simply a two-way conversation between you and God. And we have to learn how to talk to God, because if I don't talk to God, I'm going to talk to someone else. Everyone else is going to have their own idea and their own plan for my life. But as I begin to talk to God, I get God's plan and God's agenda, not just for my day, but also for my future. So I'm talking, I'm praying, but then I'm also, even if I don't have the money to afford a gym membership, I'm going to walk around my neighborhood every day. I'm going to walk up and down my steps every day for 5 minutes. Whatever it is, we spend so much time doing things that are useless, and it really does not benefit us whatsoever. But when I begin to say, I want that quality life, I make it happen. When I begin to say that I want to move differently, I make that happen. With my new relationship journey, I've had the opportunity to have some tough conversations, but also I've had the opportunity to do some self-evaluation. I can't be so quickly to respond to things like I did as a single man, right? Because as a single man, I can do whatever I want when I want to. But as a man that's in a relationship, I have to take your feelings into consideration. I have to also take my actions and how that impacts you and then how that impacts us. That's discipline. Spiritual fitness is about discipline. Relationship is about discipline. About October of last year, I remember I was doing a leadership conference for my church, and we had an incredible time. And I remember that morning, I was drinking my cranberry juice. I love cranberry juice, not the juice cocktail, because the juice cocktail is disgusting, and people mix that with other things. I just like 100% cranberry juice. But I was drinking my cranberry juice. I was working out, and I remember that I felt like I was on cloud 1,000. And the reason why I felt like that was because my spiritual fitness was intact. Because I was working out, I was praying, I was reading the Bible, I was having great conversations with myself, with others, because I wanted this moment greater than anything and anyone else. So start somewhere. Spiritual fitness means that you have to start somewhere with your spiritual life. And with your physical life. Do an inventory. Do an inventory of how you feel. We can do those quick jumping jacks, right? We can do those lunges, whatever it is. Do the quick inventory, because as you do the inventory, you begin to process yourself, and you also begin to process your strengths and your weaknesses. It's okay to have a weakness. It's okay not to be as strong as Kelsey. It's okay not to be as strong as Cannell. But guess what? You are the strongest version of yourself right now. Can you become stronger? Absolutely, with discipline. Spiritually, you can become stronger spiritually right now if you have discipline. by all means necessary. Do whatever it takes so you can move forward. So again, Canal, thank you, man, for this opportunity. This is my second year sharing with Light the Fire. I'm excited. I'm excited about Proceed to Lead. I'm excited about this opportunity because guess what? As a people, we're growing. We're getting better. We're becoming physically fit. We're becoming spiritually fit because now is our time to rise. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.